Somewhere in the second half of researching this video, I put 5 imaginary dollars on a World Cup match, purely for science. Keep an eye on that bet. It comes back. Here's the number that made me sit up. In 2024, Americans legally wagered about $150 billion on sports, a record. And the sportsbooks kept $13.7 billion of it, also a record. It's records all the way down, actually. Record bets, record revenue, record number of apps offering you a free $10 just for showing up, like a stranger with candy, if the candy were odds boosts. And right now, with the World Cup on, the first one ever played in the sportsbook's home stadium, legally speaking, the lever is being pulled harder than at any point in history. Last week, I explained why dating apps are built like slot machines. This week, the app that skipped the metaphor and just became one. Because here's the thing about a casino. At least you had to go there. It had a door. The door had opening hours. Your losses were geographically contained. The betting app removed the door, the hours, and the pants requirement, and moved into the one place your ancestors never had to defend from a casino: your pocket. Now, the wiring. Your brain has a bug so specific that casinos found it decades before neuroscientists did. In 2009, a Cambridge researcher named Luke Clark put people in a brain scanner and had them play a slot machine. He wasn't interested in the wins, he was interested in the almost wins, the reel that stops one notch from the jackpot. And here's what the scanner showed. A near miss lights up the same win circuitry as an actual win. The ventral striatum, the insula. Your reward system fires for a loss, as long as the loss is dressed as almost. And it gets better. Near misses made people want to keep playing more, but only when they felt they had control, when they picked the numbers, pulled the lever themselves. Read that as a product spec. Give the player a loss that feels like a win, plus a menu of choices so it feels like skill. Now open any betting app and look at what you see. Your team, your parlay, your picks. Almost won. So close. One leg short. That's not a losing streak, friend. That's the product working. My 5 imaginary dollars, by the way? The bet lost by 1 goal. In the 93rd minute. I have never felt more alive. That's the insula talking. And sports betting adds the ingredient the slot machine never had: the story. A slot machine is honest about being random. Sports feel knowable. You've watched football for 20 years. You know the manager is a coward and the striker is due. Every fact you know feels like an edge. And an edge feels like a reason to bet. But here's the tell. The books set those odds with rooms full of statisticians, precisely so that your 20 years of knowledge is already in the price. You're not betting against the game. You're betting against the math department with your amygdala. Then comes the part your caveman brain handles worst of all: losing. Kahneman and Tversky measured this. A loss stings about twice as hard as a win feels good. But prospect theory has a second half people skip. Once you're in the loss, the wiring flips. You stop protecting what you have and start gambling to get back to zero. Casinos have a word for the most profitable customer state ever discovered: chasing. The app knows you just lost. The app knows exactly when to slide a boosted odds notification under your thumb, in the window where your brain is loss domain, risk-seeking, and sure the next one evens it out. On the savannah, that wiring was heroic. A starving hunter who risks everything on one more hunt is sometimes a survivor. In the app, he's a retention metric. Now, the part that makes this a money video and not a sermon. In 2024, 5 economists published a study through the National Bureau of Economic Research with a title I couldn't improve on: Gambling Away Stability. They tracked the real bank transactions of over 230,000 households across 26 states before and after their state legalized online betting. The finding? Betting money doesn't come from the beer budget. It comes from savings. Households didn't gamble instead of going out. They gambled instead of investing. Net savings fell, credit card debt rose, overdrafts rose. And all of it concentrated in the households with the least room for error. The slot machine in your pocket isn't competing with your entertainment. It's competing with your future and quietly winning. So how do you watch the World Cup with caveman hardware and keep your savings? 3 moves, same playbook as last time. First, if you bet, buy a ticket, not a strategy. Decide one fixed amount before the match, an amount you'd happily spend on a movie, and treat it as the price of making the game more fun. Entertainment has a receipt. Investing has returns. Never let the app blur which one it's selling. Second, delete the story. You don't have an edge. The edge is priced in. The moment betting feels like skill, you're in the near-miss machine. Third, and this is the one the app fears, put the chase on a timer. After any loss, no bet for 24 hours. Not forever, just tomorrow. Loss chasing lives in a hot, narrow window. It cannot survive a night's sleep. The house is patient because it profits from your urgency. Be more patient than the house, because your ancestors already knew the move. When the hunt failed, they didn't rerun it in the dark on borrowed spears. They went back to the fire, ate what the tribe had, and hunted again in daylight. The fire is the budget. The tribe is your actual life, and the hunt will still be there tomorrow, at fair odds. Oh, and my 5 imaginary dollars? I bet them again while writing the ending, for science. It's the insula, I swear. Rewatch this video from the top. Apparently I need it.